Joe Rogan or Neil Young? I want to hear from you. 217-629-7970. This is all about the spat over Spotify. It's the WMAY morning news feed. I'm Greg Bishop. You can email bishoponair@gmail.com. You can also follow us on social media. Just search out Bishop on Air, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and elsewhere, and we can connect that way. But if you haven't seen the latest here, apparently Spotify says, all right, we're going to go ahead and take down Neil Young's music. And Joe Rogan unscathed in this. And this is all over Joe Rogan merely having conversations with people. He's not advocating for any harm to people physically. He's not advocating for any violence or anything. He's just merely having conversations with people about controversial subjects, something that he has every right to do in this country. Now, some may argue, well, he doesn't have a right to do it on a platform like Spotify. Well, Spotify has a right to make the decisions that they make, and they went ahead and made the decision to honor their contract with Joe Rogan and take down Neil Young's music. So I want to hear from you, 217-629-7970. You choose Neil Young or are you choosing Joe Rogan? Again, you can also email bishoponair@gmail.com. I want to remind people the road conditions out there, a little slick, so be careful. Be sure to give yourself plenty of distance between you and other vehicles. Be sure to give yourself enough space to be able to take on and off ramps. Got state police out there responding to multiple crashes, including one that we had a listener tell us about on I-55 and 72 around the Stevenson exit, so be careful out there. All right, let's hear from you now, 217-629-7970. Joe Rogan or Neil Young? Good morning.
Hello. Yeah, I'm a big Neil Young fan. Have been for many years, but I never saw eye to eye on his politics. You think that, being a freedom fighter and back in the 60s, that he would be someone that was for free speech, but I guess when it's something they don't want to hear, then they have to silence them. So it's pretty silly.
Yeah, and this stems from Joe Rogan having a variety of different guests on that question the official narrative from Dr. Fauci and COVID-19 that raises issues about different types of therapies that have been found to work from some of these researchers and medical professionals Joe Rogan has had on his podcast, to even conversations he's had with prominent liberal figures questioning the orthodoxy of the Democratic Party. And it seems that you can't have those types of conversations. Apparently, some people really turned off by just having talks, by having chats and conversations.
Yeah, that's pretty sad that people these days can't talk things out and have a mind of their own and figure things out.
Pretty wild. Appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Commenter on Facebook says, Neil Young for sure. Canceled my Spotify account, she says. Let's get more reaction at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here. As we see that Spotify went ahead and made the decision. They said it's going to take, maybe a day or so, but Neil Young's music's coming off of their platform. Not because Spotify made that decision, because that was the request from Neil Young's record company after Neil Young was, I guess, frustrated that Joe Rogan's having conversations with people and asking people questions about their stance on things and letting it air out fully on a long form podcast instead of being in little snippets of 7-minute segments. 217-629-7970. And maybe somebody can help me understand what's wrong with having these conversations. What's wrong with having open debate? Why can't people discuss things that's not part of the official narrative? Why is that so detrimental? I'm not sure I quite understand that. So hopefully somebody can help me understand. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Well, good morning, Greg. I'd like to, if I could, weigh in on this. I'd like to paraphrase the famous Ronnie Van Zant, and it's not an exact quote, but I hope Neil Young will remember that we don't need him around anyhow. That's a famous line from the Leonard Skinner. I hope you remember that, don't you? Southern man.
Yeah,
Come on, Greg.
I don't have I don't have the
You heard your
lyrics.
big
I
brother.
don't have the lyrics of Leonard Skinner on fresh recall, sir.
Well, it was probably your brothers used to play it when
Ah,
when you was in
no, my
listening
brothers
to
were playing
Mudvayne.
Metallica and some like I think they played some Christian hair metal like
Okay, then
Striper
maybe
back
your
in the day.
grandpa was playing it. Your grandpa was playing Southern rock, I'm sure.
No,
Anyway.
not at all. I appreciate the call and that weird trip down memory lane. 217-629-7970. The question, Joe Rogan or Neil Young, obviously Spotify making their decision. What's yours? Good morning.
Morning. I enjoy Neil Young's music a lot, but I'm definitely in Joe Rogan's corner. I think Neil Young, actually, he's done too much heroin in the early days, so I think I'm definitely a Rogan supporter, free speech.
Well, and you look at some of the analytics that have been released on just how large Joe Rogan's audience is, and it dwarfs every mainstream cable news talking show, primetime or not. Joe Rogan's audience is massive. And I don't know if that's what's behind this, because, listen, it wasn't just Neil Young this week saying, oh, Spotify, if you don't take Joe Rogan down, then I'm going to quit Spotify. There's also like a whole bunch of people signing on to letters saying that Joe Rogan needs to be silenced. What do you think's behind this? Is it a fear that they're losing control of the narrative, or is it that they really feel Joe Rogan simply having conversations with people is going to cause detriment to everybody?
I think that's what it is. I think they think that it's going to create detriment to everybody. I enjoy having different viewpoints on there, and that's what he does. He talks to different people, and he gets the information out there, and they just don't like, him just talking about stuff they don't like. So I hopefully Spotify keeps Joe Rogan on there all the time. So.
Well, I think if you look at the analytics that have been revealed thus far, Spotify obviously making a choice as to popularity here, because I don't know many people that listen to Neil Young every day on Spotify.
Yep.
I know tons of people who listen to every single one of Joe Rogan's podcasts on Spotify.
Yep. Yeah.
Appreciate the call.
I agree.
217-629-7970. So Neil Young, old man, taking a look at my life. He's no longer on Spotify. So Spotify made the choice. What about you, Neil Young or Joe Rogan? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Well, since I'm a music man, I'd choose Neil Young over Joe Rogan. I mean, I've never listened to Joe Rogan, so I don't know, but I'd choose Neil Young over anybody.
Even your own child, Tim. Even your own child.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, music is for everybody. I mean,
But apparently not. Neil Young doesn't think so. He took his music off Spotify.
Well, I mean, and that's just, everybody forgets that's his choice.
Sure.
That is his choice. He owns those rights.
Yep.
Everybody trample on his rights going, well, Joe Rogan has rights. Well, so does Neil Young. He has the right to take them off.
And his right was to get off the Spotify platform. And I imagine that that's just going to limit who is able to listen to his music. Because, listen, I've subscribed to Spotify for, I don't even know how many years now. We've got the family plan, so Megan's on my plan. My friends and I, we share Spotify playlists with each other because we share a similar flavor of music. And it's such an easy platform. It really is. But I guess some people not happy that Spotify is giving Joe Rogan a platform for his podcast where, again, he just simply has conversations. He's not rallying troops. He's not, putting out disinformation because he does talk to experts. They're not the Dr. Fauci experts. They're not the CNN curated paid experts that have big pharma commercials in the middle of them. No, he goes out and he talks to different experts, professionals, doctors, psychologists, researchers, and it just so happens to not fit nicely into the little, the talking points that you see on MSNBC, CNN, and ABC News and all of this. So is that really what's the problem here that some of the establishment have, some of the corporate media have against Joe Rogan, is that he's got a much larger audience than they do. So your choice, Joe Rogan or Neil Young. Almost forgot his name. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that 55 is backed up starting at Stevenson, and it's nasty.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've been telling people about the weather situation, of course, the roads and the conditions. So be careful in that area. I-55, 72, on and off ramps. Just be cautious out there. All right, it is the WMAY morning.